Light armored vehicles, Leopard tanks,
Okay, they're about 15,000.
and hundreds of troops. Meet the 3rd Battalion, Royal Canadian Regiment, an awesome force of ground power with an equally awesome force in the air. The target today, Taliban insurgents who have taken over an Afghan village. The order comes in for artillery rounds north of the village and a flyover to force the enemy to flee.
We brought a CF-18 in and did a show of force, which is basically a low passover, just to let anybody know that they're there and that we mean business.
In this case, it had to escalate. We conducted shows of force, feints, gave them every opportunity to leave the area, and that failed.
The challenge now? Eliminate the enemy, but not the civilians.
It's basically practicing our ability to apply precision force in the achievement of a mission without again, causing too much collateral damage.
That's where close air support comes in. A successful air assault now could tip the balance of power in the battle by being extremely accurate and overwhelming.
It's extremely effective. They bring a lot of firepower to the fight.
Standing by at a nearby base is the Canadian Air Force's Tactical Fighter Squadron from Bagotville, Quebec, and Captain Corey Mask.
The enemy is right now located in the shelters.
There's an intelligence briefing.
We essentially go in, see where we're going, and then we look at the maps and say, okay, what type of terrain, what type of intel do we have? Are there buildings? What are we expecting?
Meanwhile, the bombs are loaded.
We've got dumb weapons, which are non-guided, laser-guided weapons, and then our 20-millimeter cannon. So a combination of all that would be a very versatile aircraft and able to attack any target.
The maintenance crew does a few final checks. Then, take off.
At this point, we are approximately 70 miles away from the operating area. 10 minutes and we're there.
The pilot is now passed over to the Forward Air Controller, or FAC.
Once you're in talking to a forward air controller, it's to get your bombs on target, on time, as quick as possible. The greatest challenge for close air support, especially in a desert scenario, is identifying the targets. It's very featureless. Sand is sand, and there's little vegetation. So the most challenging part is to get your eyes onto the target.
Cameras, unmanned aerial vehicles or UAVs, and lasers help locate common reference points on a map.
You can appreciate 14,000, 15,000 feet. It's difficult to acquire things on the ground. So I'm physically talking to him, describing the targets. Once he sees it, he'll tell me what he sees.
Contact truck on the east side and the southern edge of the building.
So once he's into the area where there's a certain amount of buildings in a village, I'm telling him it's the farthest eastern building of that village. If it's more complicated than that, then what we call the talk-on can be fairly complicated.
All this has to happen while fighting off hostile fire and as quickly as possible, especially if Canadian soldiers are under attack.
You will hear guns firing in the background. You hear that the sense of urgency in their voice, and you just want to be on target as quick as you can and help them out.
That truck is your target. Tally target. Go ahead, target feedback.
When the pilot and FAC finally agree on a target, it's bombs away. There's nothing now that can bring them back.
The potential for your friendly forces to be very, very close to where you're dropping bombs is there. So that's always primary concern for us, is the safety of our own guys.
Today, all the weapons appear to be on target.
You see the rounds? Yeah.
Nice. Oh, man. Awesome.
The guy was hitting the targets. His bombs on targets, tracked a few of them, which means he direct hits.
Despite the damage, no one dies, military or civilian. That's because this is New Mexico, not Afghanistan. And the bombs aren't real, even though the rest of the ammunition is. The goal is to coordinate air and ground forces into a seamless assault for a real war. That will happen this fall when soldiers from the Royal Canadian Regiment return to Afghanistan.